So workout series number 2 of our strength-based conditioning is going to use a format where we have 40 seconds of one movement paired with 20 seconds of a hold or a burst to complement that movement. You're going to do 3 rounds. I would suggest setting a timer on your phone for 1 minute, doing the first exercise for 40 seconds, switching with 20 seconds left, and taking a pause in between each of the 3 rounds. Once you complete those 3 rounds, you'll move on to the next exercise pairing. Our first paired movement starts with 40 seconds of surrenders. To complete this movement, you're going to start by standing straight up. You can put your arms up by your head. You're going to go down onto each knee, engaging that core, keeping your back straight, and then come back up. It helps to alternate in between legs. You can also have the option to add weight, whether that be 1 dumbbell in each hand or racking 1 dumbbell in the middle as you go through the motions. If you have any trouble with getting up and down off the ground, just substitute this movement for a regular squat for 40 seconds. The remaining 20 seconds that you're gonna pair is a quad burner hop. You're gonna come down into that low squat and hop from this position, staying low for 20 seconds and really focusing on rocking to the balls of the feet to come up off the ground. One of my personal favorites is the penguin. You're gonna start lying flat on your back, feet on the floor, knees bent, palms upright and hands at each side. To complete the penguin, you're going to bring your shoulders up off the ground and go back and forth, touching your hand to the outside of your foot. Really engaging that core as you go through the movement for 40 seconds. Once you complete your 40 seconds, you're going to keep the shoulders up, bring the feet 6 inches, and do a hollow hold. You can find kind of where you're comfortable, whether that be closer to the floor or more upright, but we're going to hold that for 20 seconds. Next movement pairing, our 40-second movement is the high to low plank. When we set up for high plank, we're gonna have our arms extended, looking at those wrists under shoulder, everything else nice and aligned. Again, don't let your hips sag, don't let your butt be up in the air like a 10. So we're gonna engage the core for 40 seconds. You're gonna alternate going down to your forearms for the low plank, coming back up for the high plank. Be purposeful, kind of switch which arm is going up and down first. After you complete 40 seconds in the high to low plank, your 20-second burst is going to be hip taps. You'll stay in a high plank, bring one hand, cross the body to touch your hip, and that's going to be for 20 seconds. Movement pairing 2, we have 40 seconds of the Cossack squat, which really focuses on key mobility. We're going to be a little bit wider than shoulder width. We're going to start to lunge to one side, twisting and pivoting at the other foot, letting our hips sink down, coming back to center, and then doing that movement on the other side. So as we sink down and hinge at the hips, we're pivoting, we're keeping that chest up nice and proud. Following the 40 seconds of Cossack squats, we're going into squat jumps. We're gonna come nice and low, power through the entire foot to get up off the ground. If jumping isn't in your comfort level, we're gonna come into the squat and bring that up into a calf raise. Next movement pairing is going to be a bear crawl with a seal jack. To set up for our bear crawl, we're in what's known as a quad plank. So unlike our regular plank, we're still gonna have wrists under our shoulders, but we're gonna have a 90-degree bend at the knees. To complete the bear crawl, we're gonna let our hips stay low. Don't let yourself get all wacky and out of sorts. Opposite hand, opposite foot forward. This is gonna work your full body. Depending on space, once you get to a point, you can turn around and continue forward. If you're comfortable, you can also go into a reverse of the motions. After 40 seconds, we're popping up going into seal jacks for 20 seconds. Just like our jumping jack, but our arms are coming out to the side. So our next paired movement, we have 40 seconds of leg raises, 20 seconds of flutter kicks. You can either have hands out at the side, or I find it helpful to place it under my butt to make sure everything's held in place. To do our raises, we're gonna start hovering over the ground. We're gonna come up, level with our hips. Everything's slow and controlled here. We don't wanna throw our body around. If you're looking for a challenge, when you get to the top above the hips, use that core to incorporate a lift, like so. The 20 seconds remaining, you're gonna go into flutter kicks. We're gonna hover and alternate lifting one leg at a time, back and forth. Next movement pairing is the downward dog push-up that's going to be paired with our good mornings. So to do the downward dog push-up, we're not only going to utilize our regular push-up muscles. After we complete the push-up, we're going to send the hips back to go into downward dog, stretch, and utilize that leg extension. Come back into our starting push-up position and rotate through for 40 seconds. If you're using a modification on the push-up, like the knees, we're going to drop, complete our push-up, pop back up to the feet, drive those hips to go to downward dog, and then return to the knees. Good mornings are also going to stretch that hamstring and build that mobility. We're going to have soft knees, feet are shoulder width apart. You can either cross the hands at the chest or put them up by the ears. This is all about hinging the hips. So similar to the way that we do deadlift mobility, we're going to hinge and send our hips backwards. Notice I'm not bending the knees. You should be feeling that stretch in the hamstring right here if you're doing the move correctly. You can take your time here, no amount of reps to hit. We're just focusing on that mobility for 20 seconds. Our next movement pairing, we have 40 seconds of lateral lunging. So we're going to start with our feet at shoulder width. You're going to step out, go into that lunge position, come back to center, step out. We're going to have that bend at the knee. We're keeping ourselves pretty much upright from the torso up. And we're really focusing on getting that good bend and powering through our entire foot to get back to center. Your 20-second burst, we're going to get low and go into a lateral shuffle. So however much space you have, whether it's 2 to 3, but we're staying low, quick feet to get us back and forth. So last workout we did the glute bridge. This time we're going to incorporate a walkout. So same starting position, hands at the side. We're going to begin in that thrusted upward, squeezing the glutes. For 40 seconds, you're going to walk your feet out and walk them back, taking your time, really engaging that core and utilizing the glute and hamstring muscles. For those final 20 seconds, you're going to put your feet into butterfly for a frog glute bridge, bringing the knees down towards the ground and going through that same lifting motion. Because of the shift in positioning, we're going to be working different muscles now for those last 20 seconds. The next movement pairing is a full body workout called the body weight thruster. Feel free to incorporate dumbbells into each hand if you have those available. We're going to start down in a squat, lift our hands up overhead. So we want a nice fluid motion where we're incorporating all of our body groups as we move through. Our 20-second burst following 40 seconds of thrusters is the drop lunge. As completed, you should do hop, hop, drop into that lunge. Alternating sides for 20 seconds. Again, if you're not comfortable with that type of motion, you're going to do 2 calf raises and then drop into more of a static lunge. So 2 calf raises and then drop into a static lunge.